What's up, y'all? You're tuned into Vision and Heels Uncensored, the podcast dedicated to giving you the raw truth on all things V&H. We're talking real-life experiences infused with faith and an unwavering commitment to authenticity.
I'm Yvette Marie Pujol, your Vision and Heels Community Manager, a Cuban visionary with Miami roots.
And I'm Jeanette Marie Rodriguez, the CEO and founder of Vision and Heels, Puerto Rican and Dominican Bronx native, your New Yorican host. We're here to share our take on navigating life, business, and all the hats we proudly wear.
Time to pour the cafecito. Let's dive in.
Hey y'all, what's up? It's Jeanette in the house today. Hope you are all well. Missed you guys. This is, of course, as you can hear, a solo episode. Oh my gosh, we have been running around like chickies without a head, but all good things. So wanted to give you all an update on kind of what was going on, what do we have brewing, and all of the things. So to kick us off, let me just rewind that. I'm going to start off with what I'm thankful for, right? Yvette and I always do that in the beginning of every one of our episodes. So I am going to say I am thankful for safe travels, and I'll explain that in more detail in a minute. I was on 6 airplanes in a span of 7 days, and I do not like to fly, and a couple of those flights were solo flights, and then the others were with my family, but I do not like to fly. So had a smooth flight, all 6 flights, and thank God I made it home safe. Everyone came home healthy, happy. No one was sick. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. And we were all ready to kick off our routine and start our week. So I am thankful for that. Alrighty. Back to today's podcast. So I titled this From DeLand to NYC, My Juicy Experience. GCUC, and that is a global co-working conference that happens annually, and it the city where it happens, it varies, right? It's even gone abroad, so they are juicy events internationally, but this year the local juicy for me, right, the one in the States, was in New York. And for those of you that don't know, I grew up in New York. I left when I was 18, but always had jobs that had an office in New York. I don't know how that happened. It just always happened, and I always did a lot of travel. I had teams in New York and then a team in Florida, and it just worked out that travel was required, and I got to be home a lot. So although I lived in Florida, I spent a lot of time back home, which was nice. So going back to New York City for the conference was amazing. I landed, I'll tell you guys all about it, but I landed and it was cold. I think it was like in the 40s. And when I took off, I left, it was 85, guys. So I had a warm jacket, warm boots, and then left with, I think I had a tank top underneath my blazer. So I ended up wearing that and little light sneakers. So it was nice to experience a little bit of the summer feel in New York, in Manhattan, in the hustle and bustle. So going back to why I was at the Juicy conference, I was invited to speak on the indie panel. So I decided when I saw that Juicy was looking for speakers for this particular panel, I got super excited, right? And they don't really give you much information other than they just want a co-working space that is not a big brand, independently owned, and has grown, right? Organically, and that wants to share their story with others in the conference. So I said, hey, this is speaking my language, right? Because we are independently owned, we grew in a small town, let me pitch on the importance of community. So we had to recommend a topic that we would like to bring forth at the conference on the panel. And I was selected, y'all. I remember the night I was sitting on the couch with my laptop. I came across the call for speakers on LinkedIn, and I told my husband, I think I want to talk about the importance of community and how that helped me build, our small space to what it is today. And he goes, as always, go for it, babe. So I put in for it and gave my recommended topic. And then I think maybe like 2 weeks later, if that, I was selected to speak. So rush, had to, find flights and all of the things. But I was super excited, right? To talk about my space and the importance of community. Community is our DNA. It's how we survive. It's our heartbeat. So I was excited, but then I got scared, guys. Yes, I got scared because I was going to be speaking in front of all of these people. GCUC conference is huge. It's going to go by myself. It's going to travel by myself. I told you guys earlier, I don't like to fly on the plane. I have this habit, this tradition. I shouldn't say habit, a tradition that I started. I have a chain with a heart, and on one side is me and Jaylene, and the other side is me and Matt, and I bring them with me wherever I travel. And the last time I traveled solo, it was another trip to New York. I was at a partner space meeting in the city, and there was an earthquake. And then I go to the airport, and there was another one when I got to the airport. So talk about freaking out, right? Anyways, thank the Lord, there was no crazy weather. It was beautiful, just a little chilly when I landed, and God sent me off with a beautiful 85-degree day. So, anyhow, I still was scared. One, I was traveling alone. You guys know how I feel about that. And two, I was going to speak in front of all these people. I only knew a handful of folks from prior GCUC conferences. And I had attended before, but never as a speaker. And I was freaking out, guys. I'm like, am I going to have something valuable to say and valuable to add? There are going to be other, indie operators there. Maybe their story is better than mine. And I just started freaking out. The imposter syndrome is real, and I started feeling it. And then as we got closer to the date, I said, I'm just going to talk about how amazing our space is and how amazing our community is. And I know everyone's going to love it because our amazing space is thebomb.com. So I kept telling myself that I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Kept, going back to my favorite verse. Kept just telling myself I'm speaking about the community, something I love, right? I always was afraid, like, I'm going to get up there and I'm going to draw a blank. I'm not going to know what to say. I'm going to look at all these eyes staring at me, and it's just going to be a deer in headlights, blink, 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 nothing to say. Nope. I'm happy to say that I killed it. And I had so much fun, right? With the other operators, I made new friends. I got to meet folks that are in the industry, are vendors of ours, and we talk all the time via email or a phone call, but we've never met in person. Got to meet some amazing folks. It was just an amazing 2 days. And it felt good to know that I wasn't alone, right? We all struggle with similar, even though we're in different states. Our spaces can be different sizes, but the overall of feeling that I got, it's an emotional roller coaster. There's times that we're really high and there's times that we're low, but the community is what keeps us together, and we celebrate the wins and we cry over the losses. It was kind of a universal response across all of us. Right? And then when we got off the panel, when we finished our piece, right? Because throughout the day they had different speakers and different panels. We had so many people come up to us. We had so many people that started following Vision and Heels, that started following me, and just asking these amazing questions. And I got to brag about my people, y'all. Like, I have the best members, okay? So to brag about them, that was a blessing in itself. So I say this all to you, like, you never know where you're going to stand. I remember attending my very first GCUC conference as just someone that was thinking about an idea of opening a co-working space. I really didn't know what I was doing. I spent all these years in trading operations, worked in Wall Street and in Florida, and didn't know anything about co-working other than I knew I needed community, and I felt like I wasn't the only one. So let me go to this GCUC conference and see if I could get inspired to go ahead and pull the trigger. And I did, and I got inspired. So few years later, fast forward almost 4 years, now to sit on the other end as a speaker at the very first conference that I went to get motivated, to be around others so I wouldn't feel like I'm the only crazy one thinking about this idea and throwing all this money into this idea that may not work. And remember, during this time, we were locked down in COVID, right? So when I started my business, it was during COVID. So that in itself was scary, right? So to be on the other end, guys, when I tell you, like, keep fighting, keep pushing. I know there's many that probably hearing and have this business idea and don't know what to do, how to start it. You know, God put that idea in your heart for a reason, right? Don't let it go to waste. I'm not saying to you guys to quit your job and start this business and be irresponsible, because you guys all know I'm the finance girl. I'm Miss Excel spreadsheet, and if it's not part of my budget, I will not buy it. And I opened my business with a full-time job. I hired staff to be there because I could not be there. But I did it, guys, because you know what? I saw as like, hey, my salary is investing into my dream, right? And when we were steady and we were healthy enough where I could leave my business, my employer, and I can work on my business and build enough savings, okay? This is key. I had to build enough savings to support me, right? Because I knew I wasn't going to be able to give myself the nice salary I had when I was working. So to be able to adjust, and it's an adjustment, and I said it's worth it, right? This is the dream that got placed in my heart. It's working, right? And again, I did this after my business was operating. So going back to what I initially said, if you have that dream, that fire to start something, do it, guys. Don't be afraid. You could be like me on the other end, attending your first, networking event and seeing all these businesses talk about how great their businesses are doing. And you're sitting there like, I shouldn't be here. I just have this idea. I don't even know what to do. I don't even have a business plan. Don't give up. You're there, soak it in, because you never know when, fast forward, you're going to be the one leading those networking events, speaking at those conferences, right? You're going to be teaching others everything you learned, getting to where you're wanting to go, okay? So I was just so inspired. It was like a deja vu moment for me in attending the conference as a speaker. And then I saw myself sitting, like I saw the outfit I wore, like I saw everything, me sitting. So as I was on the stage looking to the attendees, I saw myself sitting. And suddenly I wasn't nervous anymore because I was just talking to myself. And it was crazy. I don't know how to explain this other than I was telling myself, you've built something great. You have a community, you have a family back home that's celebrating that you're here. And I'm like talking to myself from the stage, and it was just an amazing feeling. When I tell you that I can't even explain, like the deja vu, I don't know how to explain it, but I saw myself fully dressed with the outfit, hairstyle. It was like I was at that moment. All the butterflies, everything. It's like I was telling myself, calm down, you got this. And this is what it's going to look like. So I was telling me the story of our success, right? And how we took a small, less than 3,000 square foot space and created a 6,000 square foot hub. First of its kind, female first, female forward space. Yes, we have male as part of our membership. We call them our allies. So females and our allies. And we are the only one of its kind in our community. And we're thriving, and the community loves us. And we're saving lives, and we're saving jobs, and we're creating businesses, right? We're doing so many things, right? We're keeping the money in the community. We're working with businesses that are, surrounded, by us in our space, right? And we're just doing so many things. We're saving businesses, right? There's businesses that we have had that were in the brink of just closing its books. And we were able to reduce their overhead and help them keep their businesses alive, right? There's members that were there that were getting burnt out and abused by their 9 to 5. And now they started their business as a side gig and run it as their main gig, gave up their 9 to 5 that was stressing them out, and now it's living free. They're walking in with color, with life, and we were able to help them. We were the ones. I say that when a woman gives birth, you have your, the doctor and your family kind of go ahead, coaching you on, you got this, don't give up, keep pushing, and we were that for these businesses, right? So this is something I don't ever take for granted. I'm blessed that God used me. He can use anyone and anything, and he used me to be at DeLand and to open up this business, to be there for all of these wonderful members and be a blessing to them and have them be a blessing to me, y'all, right? Because yes, they can say Vision and Heals is awesome, it's a blessing, but they don't know the light they bring back to me. There's many days I walk into this space like, oh my gosh, why am I doing this? And then I have a conversation with the first member that walks in and it all goes away because they're my why, right? So this conference just brought it all back. I came back energized, just super excited about things that are happening at Vision and Heals, all the plans we have for 2027 and beyond, just the growth and hearing about the industry overall, where someone told me by 2030, the co-working market is expected to hit $24 billion by 2030, right? So it's a solution that people need and want, and it's growing. Right? The burnout rate is super high. People are starting to feel burnt out. They're distracted at home, right? Businesses have needed to downsize. So now they're seeking other locations that they can feel motivated and inspired to do their best work, right? We at Vision and Heals are getting big corporations, global corporations, asking for space in our office. Right? So, it's the growing industry. And imagine if I would have been, as I mentioned, Miss, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know why I'm opening a co-working space that showed up to Juicy 4 years ago and never did anything with it. What I would have been missing out, right? So I am just glad that I took the chance. It's a risk, right? And it took a lot of sacrifice and a lot of hard work, a lot of tears. I'm not going to sit here and say it was always pretty, because it's not. I'm 4 years in, guys. So, year 1, 2, and then some of 3 was very hard, right? My community manager, who is a friend, right? And I call her family because we spend so much time together and we never get bored with each other. But she started, we were friends before, and I wanted to hire someone that loved and believed in what we were building and loved it just as much as I did. And I knew that person was her. So I hired her to be my community manager, to be Vision and Heals community manager. And I remember after just being there a couple weeks, she's like, why are you doing this? And I'm asking you as your friend. And, I didn't have nothing else to say because I questioned myself other than I feel like we're providing a ministry. This is a ministry. We're the hospital, right? I told her, I feel this is a ministry and I got to keep going until God tells me otherwise. But I'm telling you, this to remind you, right? And to warn you that it is not always easy and it's not going to be pretty, and expect all of the nerves and all of the things and all of the stresses. Expect some tears. I think I have some grays, some extra pounds, all of the things that come with stress I have. But ask me if I would have done anything different, and the answer is no. Why? Because the impact that Vision and Heals has made on the community just in less than 4 years was worth every single tear, every single gray hair, every single pound that I'm looking to shed. So I wouldn't do anything different, right? And so I wanted to record this just to kind of give you guys an update and let you guys know that these feelings, even the imposter syndrome, this is me speaking about a space that's successful and growing and all of the things, and I was still scared to speak in front of people. Why? Why should I be afraid to tell my story? It's my story, right? But the fact that I was going to sit there in front of all these people, some that had multiple co-working spaces, some bigger corporations, as I mentioned, some of our vendors were there, and it freaked me out. So I wanted to record this and tell you, it's okay. Those feelings are okay. You're human. God put those feelings in us. He knows we're going to feel those things. But what I want to tell you is, don't allow those feelings to disable you. Right? I could have easily, once I got the email, when I tell you I got the knot in my stomach and I couldn't eat because I was freaking out, and I had to reply back with a confirmation, and it took me a little bit. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do it. Because that week, guys, I didn't even go into why I went on 6 flights in 7 days, right? That week was also my daughter's Kansas City volleyball tournament. So I literally went from Florida to New York back to Florida, from Florida to Atlanta to Kansas City. I was exhausted. I was beat. But you know what? The adrenaline of, man, I did it. Man, it was so good to celebrate Vision and Heals with others and hear about the other spaces, right? And learn that my fears are not only my fears, there are others, the other indie owner fears, like all of the things that I was feeling, we all kind of felt universal about it. So it gave me the fuel that I needed, once, to continue on my travels, right? So I came home. I literally just did my laundry from 2 weeks ago because my laundry was piled up. I had clothes from the trip and clothes from KC and then my suits and everything else. But that fire kept me going, all the way till when I got to Vision and Heals and I got to see the members and hug the members. I think they also felt like, oh, Jeanette's back and she's coming back fueled up and she has big plans for Vision and Heals and we're growing and we're doing all of the things, and they were super excited. So imagine if I would have allowed that fear, right? That self-negative talk that, oh, you're an imposter, you shouldn't do this, right? There's bigger and better co-working spaces than you that can give their story. No one's going to want to hear about your space in DeLand. Imagine if I would have allowed those thoughts to stop me, right? The end result wouldn't have been everything that I just shared with you, right? I needed that. I needed that refuel to come back and be excited about what I built, to see it from the other lens, to be able to talk to Jeanette that was there 4 years ago that was scared and didn't know what she was doing. I needed to experience all of those things in order to come back stronger and ready to attack the next milestone. As I said, it's not easy. Don't expect entrepreneurship to be easy. It's the hardest thing. I think it's harder than having kids, because it's kind of like having a kid that's expensive in the beginning. Because when you have a kid, the expenses add up over time. But when you have a business, that is your baby, and it requires a lot of time and money all the way up front. So it's like you're giving it away before it even returns anything as an investment back to you. So it's scary. I say that it's scarier than being a mom, right? Because I always said being a mom is the hardest thing and it was scary. I don't know about that. Birthing Vision and Heals is pretty scary. But then I just said, ask me if I would do anything different. The answer is no. So with that, I'm going to close this short solo episode. I love you guys. And I decided to record this just to leave you guys with a little bit of inspiration. Keep going. That fire, that dream, keep at it. Don't leave your jobs. You know, I'm always going to tell you that. Make sure your finances are in order. Make sure you have a cushion. Make sure you have a hefty savings before you take the jump. But don't let go of the dream. And don't allow imposter syndrome, because it's a thing, to stop you. All right, guys, have an amazing week. I love you all, and we will be back soon together. And I say we, Yvette and I will be back online together. Love you guys. Bye, y'all.
Wow, that was some strong cafecito we poured today on Vision and Heels Uncensored. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. We are truly grateful, as it really helps us pour more into your heart straight from ours.
Remember to live your truth, handle your business, and shine bright.
We'll be back soon to pour some more. Stay blessed.